Anger feels powerful, doesn't it? Like a surge of energy that makes you feel strong. But in reality, anger is one of the biggest destroyers of our intelligence, our relationships, and even our connection with the divine. It promises control but delivers chaos. Today, let's explore anger, not just through the lens of modern science and psychology, but also through the timeless, profound wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, and the Bible. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why mastering anger is the key to unlocking your true potential. Let's start with the science, with what's physically happening inside your head. When you get angry, your brain actually changes its entire mode of operation. A tiny, almond-shaped part of your brain called the amygdala, our emotional center, goes into overdrive. It basically hijacks your mind. This intense emotional response effectively blocks the prefrontal cortex. Now, the prefrontal cortex is your brain's CEO. It's the part responsible for logic, reason, intelligence, and sound decision-making. When it's offline, you're not really you. This is precisely why, in a fit of anger, people say things they deeply regret, make disastrous choices, or even lash out and hurt the ones they love the most. You've probably experienced this. The moment passes, and you think, why did I say that? That's not me. Well, scientifically, it wasn't the thinking you, it was the reacting you. Psychology backs this up, showing that anger literally narrows our attention. We become tunnel-visioned, unable to see the bigger picture or consider other perspectives. It drastically reduces our capacity for empathy, making it impossible to connect with how others feel. And here's a fascinating, and frankly, a scary fact. Anger temporarily lowers your IQ. All that intelligence, all that knowledge you've accumulated, just gets short-circuited. So, in a very real sense, the smarter you are, the dumber anger makes you. It robs you of your greatest asset, your mind. It's like willingly handing over the controls of a sophisticated machine to a toddler. The result is almost always a mess. Understanding this biological process is the first step. It's not just a feeling. It's a physiological event that has real, measurable consequences on your cognitive function. Now, let's journey back in time, to the ancient wisdom of the East. In the Bhagavad Gita, one of the most revered spiritual texts, Lord Krishna gives his disciple Arjuna a very clear and potent warning about the chain reaction that anger sets off. He says, from anger comes delusion. From delusion, the loss of memory. From loss of memory, the destruction of intelligence. And when intelligence is destroyed, a person falls down. Let's unpack that, because it's a spiritual diagnosis of a mental poison. It begins with anger. That anger creates delusion, a fog that clouds our judgment and our perception of reality. We see insults where none were intended. We feel attacked when we are not. This delusion then leads to a loss of memory, not just forgetting where you put your keys, but a deeper forgetting. We forget who we are, our values, our goals, our connection to others, and our spiritual purpose. We forget the good times we've shared with the person we're angry at. And from that loss of memory, Krishna says, comes the destruction of intelligence. This is the final stage. Our ability to discern right from wrong, wise from foolish, is completely shattered. When our intelligence is destroyed, we fall. We fall down in life spiritually, by distancing ourselves from our higher nature. Mentally, by living in a state of chaos and negativity. And socially, by ruining the very relationships that give our lives meaning. The Gita's message is a call to action, to rise above anger, to not be a victim of this destructive cycle, and to instead act with wisdom, with clarity, and with self-control. It's about being the master of the emotion, not its slave. This powerful theme of mastering the self is echoed beautifully in the Quran. It presents a vision of strength that is completely counterintuitive to what the world often tells us. In Surah Al-Imran, verse 134, Allah praises those who are righteous, describing them as those who restrain their anger and pardon people. This is so profound. The verse doesn't praise those who are the loudest, the most intimidating, or the quickest to seek revenge. No, the praise, the honor, is for those who possess the inner fortitude to control their anger. This teaches us a fundamental truth. True strength is not in external displays of power, like shouting, fighting, or holding on to grudges. That's easy. That's the path of least resistance. The real, genuine strength is found in mastering the self. It's the silent, internal victory of choosing peace over rage, forgiveness over vengeance. Islam teaches that when we can achieve this, when we can pardon others, and control that fiery impulse of anger, we are not only spiritually elevated, but we are also closer to God. We are actively choosing a path of righteousness, and doing so, we are protected from the immense destruction that untamed anger inevitably brings. It's a shield for your soul and your life. And this universal truth resonates just as strongly in the wisdom of the Bible. The Bible is very direct and doesn't mince words when it comes to the dangers of unchecked anger. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 verse 11, it says, "Fools give full vent to their anger, but the wise bring calm in the end." This is a crystal clear distinction. Giving full vent to your anger, letting it all out without a filter, is presented as the mark of a fool. It's impulsive and destructive. The wise, on the other hand, don't suppress anger, but they manage it. They bring calm in the end. They process it, understand it, and choose a constructive response. The New Testament builds on this in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 20, which adds, "Human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires." This is a crucial point. Our raw, unfiltered human anger, no matter how justified it might feel in the moment, simply cannot lead to a positive, righteous, or godly outcome. It's like trying to build a beautiful house with rotten wood. The foundation is flawed. So, according to the Bible's wisdom, anger actively leads us away from wisdom, away from righteousness, and ultimately, away from love, the very core of its message. It's a path that leads to a dead end, spiritually and personally. So, let's connect the dots. Whether you look at modern brain science, the ancient battlefield wisdom of the Bhagwat Gita, the divine guidance of the Quran, or the practical proverbs of the Bible, they all arrive at the exact same conclusion. Uncontrolled anger destroys intelligence. It's a universal truth that transcends culture, religion, and time. Anger is like fire. It can be a useful tool when controlled, but if you let it run wild, the first thing it will burn is you. It burns your peace of mind, your relationships, and your potential. But the flip side is also true. If you learn to master it, if you can harness that energy and transform it, you become immeasurably stronger, calmer, and wiser. You turn a destructive force into a catalyst for growth. Recognizing the problem is the first half of the battle. The second half is knowing what to do about it. So, how do we actually control anger in the heat of the moment? Here are some simple, yet incredibly powerful tools you can start using today. First, and most importantly, pause and breathe. When you feel that surge of anger, don't react immediately. Just stop. Take a deep breath. This simple act is a biological reset button. It gives your prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, a crucial moment to come back online and cool down before you say or do something you regret. Second, shift your focus. Instead of replaying the insult or the hurt in your mind, which only adds fuel to the fire, ask yourself a better question. What is the wise response here? What is the most constructive way forward? This shifts you from a reactive state to a proactive problem-solving state. Third, remember your higher self. You are not your anger. That feeling is a temporary storm passing through you. You are the calm, stable sky behind the clouds. Remind yourself, I am greater than this feeling. This emotion does not define me. And finally, a practice that builds immense inner strength. Forgive, don't fuel. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. It only hurts you. Letting go is the ultimate act of self-preservation. It is a declaration that your peace of mind is more important than their mistake. Forgiveness is strength, not weakness. By practicing these simple steps, pausing, shifting focus, remembering who you are, and forgiving, you actively protect your intelligence, your peace, and your future from the corrosive effects of anger. Let's bring this all home. I want you to remember this. Anger is temporary, but the damage it does can be permanent. A moment of rage can undo years of trust, love, and hard work. Don't let a fleeting emotion destroy your intelligence, your relationships, or your inner peace. Instead, make a conscious choice to let wisdom, compassion, and love guide your actions. That's where your true, unshakable power lies. It's not in the roar of anger, but in the quiet strength of self-mastery. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration today. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'd love to hear your thoughts or your own strategies for managing anger in the comments below. And of course, if you want more content to help you live a wiser, more peaceful life, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, be well and choose wisdom.